continue the yesterday's same chapter. Yesterday we have seen the external structure of the human heart. Today we are going to study the internal structure of the human heart. Internal structure of human heart. Internal structure of human heart. As we know that human heart has the 4 chambers. These are the upper 2 chambers and lower 2 chambers. There are 4 chambers. So in the internal structure of human heart, so it has 4 chambers like this. We will be draw here a rough diagram. Here 2 chambers are there, upper 2, and our heart is slightly conical, tilted towards the left. So upper 2 chambers here and the lower 2 chambers. So in this way our heart has 4 chambers, upper 2 and the lower 2. Here the 4 chambers our heart has. Look at here, we have, for understanding sake, we are making here 4 chambers. For the sake of understanding, we have made here 4 chambers. This is right atrium. This one is left atrium. So, when we are studying the internal structure of the heart, we will find the upper 2 chambers are thin walled. The wall of this chamber is very thin. They are thin walled and they are present at the superior. Upper 2, superior 2 chambers, inferior 2 chambers. Here, auricles are superior chambers. They are thin walled. Wall of this chamber is very thin. They are superior, thin walled, and receiving chambers. Those will be receiving the blood. Those are receiving chambers. From whom those will be receive the blood? Those will be receive the blood from 3 sides. From the superior vena cava and inferior vena cava, then from the coronary sinus. This is superior vena cava. Superior vena cava, and this one is the inferior vena cava. Superior vena cava, inferior vena cava. Superior and inferior vena cava will be bring the deoxygenated blood from the body parts. Superior vena cava will be bring the blood from the upper body parts like heart, head, neck. From the upper side, the deoxygenated blood will be collected by the superior vena cava, and that blood is poured into this right atrium. This blood is brought from the head and neck, and it is released into this, poured into this right atrium from the upper body parts. And the inferior vena cava which is there, this one will be bring the blood from the lower body parts like legs and all that deoxygenated blood is brought by the inferior vena cava and it is released into the right atrium. From the two sides blood have come into the right atrium. From the upper body parts brought by the superior vena cava, or it is also called as precaval vein, and from the lower body parts the inferior vena cava or postcaval vein will be bring the blood, deoxygenated blood, which have been used by our tissues. That deoxygenated blood is released into this vein, and this vein will be collect the blood and released into the right atrium. Upper body parts, lower body parts, deoxygenated blood has come into the right atrium. Now, as our body requires the oxygenated blood, same way for the working of the heart is also the oxygenated blood is required, and that blood is supplied by this coronary arteries, and the deoxygenated blood is collected by the coronary veins, and all the coronary veins joins to form a coronary sinus. All the veins, which veins? Coronary veins. Coronary veins are related to only this heart wall. For the working of this heart wall, the oxygenated blood which is required, that will be supplied by the coronary arteries, and coronary veins will be collect the deoxygenated blood, and those all the veins, coronary veins comes together and it forms a coronary sinus. That coronary sinus open into this right atrium. This is the one of the opening. This is also bringing the deoxygenated blood. This all is the deoxygenated blood. Which blood it is? Deoxygenated blood. Brought by the three sides, from superior vena cava, inferior vena cava, and the coronary sinus. This is right atrium. And when we compare the right and left atrium, this is the larger in size. The size of the right atrium is larger when you compare to the left atrium. This is bigger in size. Then the deoxygenated blood enter into this. Then these openings are guarded by valves. This inferior vena cava is guarded by valve. Here one valve will be present in this opening. That valve is called Eustachian valve. Eustachian valve. Eustachian valve. And the coronary sinus opening, here also one of the valve is present, and this valve is called Hebasian valve. Hebasian valve. But the superior vena cava or precaval vein, it do not have any valve. No valve is present in the superior vena cava's opening, because here the what will be happens when this wall of the auricles atria will be contract. At that time blood will be passes here, and the chances may be are there the blood may not go reverse into this again inferior vena cava and this coronary sinus. That is why these walls will be prevent the backflow of the blood. These walls will be prevent the backflow of the blood. What will be happens here? Valve is not there, because one of the reason behind this is when the blood is coming from here, this valve will be get contract. This blood cannot flow up because it is against the gravity. The blood will be comes down, it cannot go back. This is one of the reason. And the second reason which is there, that is this superior vena cava which is there, it is not straight. How is there? It is present in the angle. It is present in angle. So here valve is not required. Valve is absent in the superior vena cava. Here no valve. Only two valves are there. In the coronary sinus, Thebesian valve is present, and in the inferior vena cava, Eustachian valve is present. This opening is the, what is this? Coronary sinus it is. This is the coronary sinus. Coronary sinus is guarded by which valve? Here, Thebesian valve. And inferior vena cava is guarded by this Eustachian valve is present. Here no valve is present. Valves are absent there. Then here these two auricles are separated by, here one partition is there. These two are separated. This valve is called atrioventricular interauricular septum. In between the two atria is there, and it is dividing the two atria. So it is called interauricular. Interauricular septum. This divides the two auricles. Interauricular septum. This interauricular septum has one depression. This septum will have one depression here. What this depression is? This depression is the fossa ovalis. What is this? It is fossa ovalis. Fossa ovalis is the remnant of, it is the remains of foramen ovalis. It is the remnant of foramen ovalis. What is foramen ovalis? Foramen ovalis is the hole in between these two atria. In between these two atria, the hole will be present. The hole will be present before the birth. This hole will be get closed after the immediate of the birth, and that hole is called foramen ovalis. This foramen ovalis, immediately after the birth, this hole will be get closed, but the depression is remains. That depression shows that here what was been? Here foramen ovalis was been, and that depression name has been given here fossa ovalis. Fossa ovalis is the remnant of foramen ovalis. It is a remnant of foramen ovalis. Here the depression will be present. This side. Hole was been before the birth, and after immediately this one will be get closed, but the depression will be present. That depression is called as fossa ovalis. Here, when the blood comes into the right atrium, and this right atrium will be contract, blood goes towards this apertures. Here the two apertures are present. Here one hole is there, here one hole is there. These holes are nothing but the apertures. These apertures are called, here one of the aperture, and this is one of the aperture is present. These apertures are called, this is left side, so it is called as left atrioventricular. Atrioventricular aperture. Right, atrioventricular aperture. Left, this is right. Right atrioventricular aperture. Left side aperture is present. Left atrioventricular, in between the atria and ventricle. Which atria and ventricle? Left side. Left atria and ventricle. This aperture is called as left atrioventricular aperture. Here, right atrioventricular aperture. In this aperture, here one valve will be present. This valve is called tricuspid valve. Here the flap-like structures, cusp-like structures are present. Suppose this is the valve. This one flap, and this is one of the flap, and this is one of the flap. 1, 2, 3. 3 flap structure. 3 cusps are there. Flaps or cusps. Here 3 are there. So the name has been given to this valve is tricuspid valve. This valve is called as tricuspid valve. 3 cusps are present, 3 flaps are present, and here 2 cusps are present. Only the 2 cusps. So it is called bicuspid valve. Bicuspid valve. Or other name for this is mitral valve. Tricuspid valve, bicuspid valve, or it is also called as mitral valve. Here only 2 cusps are present. Here 3 cusps are present. So it is called as tricuspid valve. This is bicuspid or mitral valve. These 2 valves will be guard this apertures. Means it don't allow the much blood to flow inside. So immediately those valves will be get closed. This valve has one function. Those will be prevent the backflow of the blood, and those allow the flow of blood in unidirection, only one direction. Those don't allow the blood to move back. Those prevent the backflow of the blood, and that blood which is coming from the auricles, it will be goes towards the ventricles only. This is the function of the valves. Now we have seen these 2 auricles. Now we'll come towards the ventricles. Ventricles are the inferior chambers. Those are thick walled. Wall of this is thick is there compared to the atrium. Wall is thick. Ventricles wall. Inferior thick walled distributing chambers. These 2 chambers will be distribute the blood. These 2 will be receive. These 2 will be distribute. Ventricles will be distribute the blood. This is right ventricle. Right ventricle it is, and this is left ventricle. This one right atrium, left atrium. 4 chambers. So when the blood passes into these ventricles, the wall of the ventricle is thick and it has the ridges. The wall of ventricle has ridges. What kind of ridges are there? See, up down, up down, up down is there. Here it forms like as a pockets here. This is one, and here, look at here, pocket like structures are formed. Ridges are present here. Those ridges are, few ridges are smaller and few ridges are larger. So this is large ridge and this is the smaller one. This is smaller one. So small and bigger ridges are present here in the wall of ventricle. These smaller ridges which are there, those will be give rough appearance to this wall of ventricle. Ventricle inner side wall is ridges it has, it will be look like as a rough appearance, and some are bigger in size. These bigger size ridges which are there, those are called papillary muscles. Papillary muscles. Papillary muscles. And the smaller ridges are called columnae carnae. Smaller one called as columnae carnae or trabecular carnae. Trabecular carnae. Smaller ridges are called columnae carnae or trabecular carnae, and big one are called as the papillary muscles. These valves are attached to the valves. Here the connection of these valves, these two bicuspid and tricuspid valves are attached to the papillary muscles. These are attached to the papillary muscles by a inelastic fibers called chordae tendineae. Inelastic fibers. Inelastic fibers are called chordae tendineae. Chordae tendineae. Inelastic fibers. These fibers are attached to this papillary muscles. These are the fibers are attached to the papillary muscles. Here also, in this chamber also. These are attached to the papillary muscles. As the ventricle contracts, ventricle when contracts, the blood will be, these doors will be get closed. When these doors contracts, when these will be relaxed, these doors will be open. These doors which are there, this gate will be open and the blood will be comes down from this arterium, both. But these flaps which are there, those cannot, that gate which is that it cannot turn this side, it can turn only this side only. Suppose for example, this flap which is there, that flap like this bicuspid, and when blood which is coming up inside lower side, then this flap cannot turn this side, it can turn this side only. Why? Because these fibers will be pull that gates, these flaps, the flaps which are present here, those flaps are pulled by these fibers. This chordae tendineae will be pulled this. These muscles will be contract, papillary muscles, and these papillary muscles will be contract. This chordae tendineae will be stretched, and the gate which is there, these flaps which are there, those will be open in this way. Again those will be relaxed, this one will be get closed. Open, close in this way. Only one direction flow of blood will be allowed by these valves. With the help of this chordae tendineae fibers, they are joined to the papillary muscles. The opening of these valves is guarded by the papillary muscles. Later on, the two big aortas will be takes its origin. First one, pulmonary aorta. This side, pulmonary aorta, the blood, deoxygenated blood which is coming into this chamber. This is the deoxygenated blood. When the auricle contract, blood comes into this, and when these will be contract, here one big aorta will be takes its origin. Here, this is the pulmonary aorta. Pulmonary aorta will be takes its origin, and when it goes up, when it goes up, it will be get bifurcated. This is the pulmonary aorta, which is carrying the deoxygenated blood towards the lungs. Here, right lung, and here lungs. It is going towards the lungs. This one also going towards the lungs. Which one? It is left lung, and this is right lung. Two pulmonary aorta will be get divided into pulmonary arteries. These are the two pulmonary arteries are carrying the deoxygenated blood. As we know that all arteries will be carry the oxygenated blood. All the veins will be carry the deoxygenated blood. But exceptions are there. Which exceptions? This one. Pulmonary artery. This pulmonary artery is carrying the deoxygenated blood. Pulmonary artery is carrying deoxygenated blood towards the lungs. Then this pulmonary aorta is also bordered by the three semicircular valves here are called semilunar valves. This one is called semi. Semi means half. Lunar, like as a moon. Semilunar valves. Semilunar valve are present in the pulmonary aorta. Then systemic aorta will be takes its origin from the left ventricle. From here, systemic aorta, largest aorta, will be takes its origin from the ventricle. Which ventricle? From the left ventricle, which is coming towards the body parts. Now, in this way, the systemic aorta will be carry the oxygenated blood. Here this is oxygenated blood, which is carried by the systemic aorta towards the body parts. When it will be come back and it supply to the each and every part of our body. Here also one valve is present. That valve is also called as semilunar valve. But this one is called as semilunar, pulmonary semilunar valve, and this is systemic. It is present in the systemic arc. So it is called as systemic semilunar valves. This is systemic semilunar valve. Systemic semilunar valve, and this is pulmonary semilunar valve. Those will be guard the blood in to prevent the blood from backflow. So this is the structure of the heart, internal structure of the heart. It has main valves. In the coronary sinus, Thebesian valve is present. In the inferior vena cava, Eustachian valve is present. In the superior vena cava, there is no valve. No valve is present there. And the blood which is coming to this chamber is the oxygenated blood. Oxygenated blood. From whom it is coming? It is coming from the lungs. From the lungs. Towards the lungs, which kind of blood is going on? This is the deoxygenated. Lungs will be purify that blood into deoxygenated blood will be converted into oxygenated. And this blood is sent towards the heart. To which chamber? Left atrium. Those have received from the right atrium to right ventricle to pulmonary aorta to this pulmonary artery to lungs. Lungs will be converted oxygenated. That oxygenated blood is sent towards the left atrium through pulmonary veins. What are those? Pulmonary veins. These are the pulmonary veins. And pulmonary veins are the exception, like as a pulmonary artery. All arteries carry oxygenated, all veins carry deoxygenated, but this pulmonary vein only will be carry the oxygenated blood, which is bringing the oxygenated blood. These two are the exceptions. Here, two openings are there, means from the left lung, two pulmonary veins are coming. From the right lung, also the two pulmonary veins will become, and those will be get open here. These veins we cannot see here because those are from the back side. Those are coming from the back side. Here we can only draw here openings of these pulmonary veins. These two pulmonary veins are coming from the right lungs. These two pulmonary veins are coming from the left lungs. These all are bringing the oxygenated blood into the left atrium. And that blood, oxygenated blood, passes towards the auricle to ventricles. Means these two chambers, right side chambers has the deoxygenated blood, and left side two chambers has the oxygenated blood. Here deoxygenated, here oxygenated blood is present. The pulmonary veins do not have any valves. Here no valve into this openings, because they are also present in the angle form. They are present in the angle. They are present in the angle form. So they do not have any valve. Superior vena cava do not have any valve. Coronary sinus has the Thebesian valve. Inferior vena cava has the Eustachian valve. Right atrioventricular aperture has the tricuspid valve. Left atrioventricular valve has the bicuspid valve. And pulmonary aorta has the pulmonary semilunar valve. Systemic aorta has the systemic semilunar valve. This pipe is guarded by valve, this pipe is guarded by valve, this aperture is guarded by valve, this aperture is also guarded by valve. Inferior vena cava is also guarded by valve, coronary sinus is also guarded by the valve. Only the superior vena cava and this pulmonary veins do not have any valves. So, look at that structure. here are the 4 chambers. This is right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium, left ventricle. This one is superior vena cava. This one is inferior vena cava. This one is systemic aorta. This is pulmonary aorta. These are the pulmonary artery. This is also pulmonary artery. This one is right, that is left. Right pulmonary artery. These two and these two are the pulmonary veins. Pulmonary veins. Here the aperture is present. This aperture is called as which aperture? Right atrioventricular aperture. Right atrioventricular aperture. This aperture is left atrioventricular aperture. The ridges are called, smaller ridges are called columnae corneae or trabeculae corneae, and the bigger one are called, these big ridges are called papillary muscles, and the inelastic fibers are called chordae tendinae. Chordae tendinae. These are the brachial, carotid and subclavian arteries, upper 3 arteries. Systemic aorta which is coming down. So these two chambers has deoxygenated blood, and this is also has the deoxygenated blood which is coming from this chamber. It will become here and goes through this and supply to the lungs. From the lungs, oxygenated blood will be comes into this chamber. These two chambers has the oxygenated, and these are has the these two chambers, ventricles, right side, right ventricle and right auricle has deoxygenated blood. Here the deoxygenated is present, and that side oxygenated blood is present. This is the overall internal structure of the human heart. Now we will see the pumping action of heart. Pumping action of the heart. Heart is the pumping organ of the circulatory system, and this pumping takes place by the rhythmic action of the heart muscles. Heart muscles will be rhythmically contract and and relax. And one contraction, one relaxation makes one heartbeat. Pumping action of the heart. Pumping action of heart. Heart is the pumping organ, and the pumping actions is brought by the rhythmic contraction and relaxation of the heart muscles. The heart muscles which are present here in the myocardium, cardiac muscles. Which muscles are present here? Cardiac muscles. These muscles will be contract and relax. So the heart will be pumped by this contraction and relaxation. Contraction of heart muscle is called systole. Contraction of heart muscle is called systole. Systole. And relaxation of heart muscle. Relaxation of heart muscle is called diastole. Systole and diastole. Contraction and relaxation of the heart muscle. A single systole followed by the diastole makes one heartbeat. Now what is heartbeat? Heartbeat means what? What is heartbeat? One contraction and one relaxation. One contraction and one relaxation makes one heartbeat. Heartbeat means contraction is followed by the relaxation and is called as heartbeat. How many times our heart will be beat? Heartbeat is 72 times per minute. In the 1 minute, how many times our heart will be beat? 72 times in a normal person. Heartbeat is 72 times. Then, so the heart will be beat 72 times per minute is called heart rate. This is called heart rate. What is heart rate? 72 times. Our heart will be beating per minute. That is called as the heart rate. Heartbeat, one contraction, one relaxation makes one heartbeat. Heartbeat, heart rate. Systole, diastole. Now, during each heartbeat, ventricle pump about 70 ml of blood. Is called stroke volume. When the blood comes into the auricles will be contract, blood comes into the ventricle. When the ventricles also will be contract, ventricular muscles will be contract, the blood which is there, that blood will be flow into the pulmonary aorta and systemic aorta. How much blood will be goes into this? So it is 70 ml. 70 ml of blood flows into the aorta. When the ventricles will be contract, this is called stroke volume. It is called stroke volume. What is the stroke volume? 70 ml. Ventricles will be contract. How much blood? 70 ml is called stroke volume. It means heart pumps 72 times of 70 ml of blood is equals to, now we have to multiply this. Heart rate is 72 times. 70 times. In 1 minute, how many times heart beats? 70 times heart will be beat. In one beat, in one heartbeat, how much blood will be flown out? It is 70 ml. Then 70 into 72. We have to be volume. This is heart rate and stroke volume. Heart rate and stroke volume is equals to, how much you will get here? It is 5040 ml. When approximately it is 5 liters of blood. How much it is? 5 liter of blood is pumped by our heart in per minute. In 1 minute, how much blood is flowing? 72 is the heart rate, 70 is the stroke volume, and when we multiply these two, we will get the 5000 ml, 5040 ml. Approximately it is 5 liter, that is per minute. In a 1 minute, 5 liters of blood will be pumped by our heart. This is called cardiac output. This is called as the cardiac output. What is the cardiac output? 5 liters. Now here these terms we have to be remembered. First one, what is systole? Contraction of the heart muscle is called systole. What is diastole? Relaxation of the heart muscles is called as diastole. What is heartbeat? One contraction and one relaxation makes one heartbeat. What is heart rate? 70 to 72 times per minute heartbeats, that is called as heart rate. What is stroke volume? 70 ml of blood, ventricles will be pumped into the aorta, is called as stroke volume. And heart rate into stroke volume is equals to cardiac output. How much it is? 5040 ml means 5 liters of blood will be pumped by our heart in 1 minute, that is called as cardiac output. So this is regarding the internal structure of the heart and the pumping action of the heart. Remaining part will be continued.